When I say the day, May 6th, 2017, Robert, what immediately comes to your mind?
When I think of that day, May 6th, 2017, it's the day that changed my life. I went from Division One athlete competing in the collegiate rugby national championship to a quadriplegic in an instant, told that I would never walk or move my hands again for the rest of my life. So I look back on that day and there's terror, that I felt, and there was trauma. But now we fast forward 8 years later, and I look back and I feel pride for just how amazing this whole recovery has turned out, and now this meaning to be able to share that story with others.
The Zoom camera captured you as you raised your hands to
Yeah.
gesture, and that probably, 8 years ago would have been something that, well, the doctors told you you're not going to be able to do this, right? I mean, incredible.
I know my doctors told me I would be lucky if I would be able to pick up a piece of pizza and bring it to my face one day. Just feeding myself would be beating the odds. So, here I am today talking like an Italian with my hands going everywhere. I've had almost an 80% return, I would say, in my upper body. And that's just above the waist. I mean, I can walk 400 yards in my walker now. The odds of that happening were probably about 1% or less. So, this is just short of a miracle.
We're still at a point where we can fix almost everything else, but not the spinal cord. And but you've been able to figure workarounds here. How have you been able to do that?
It's been a lot of hard work in this recovery, but there's been a lot of luck and a lot of support. I mean, my body has responded really well to this. It's not all about effort. There's a lot of people who work just as hard as I can, and they haven't seen the same kind of recovery. The severity of the injury matters a lot, but it's the support I've received more than anything. It's incredible physical therapists. It's getting in the right hospitals. It's people giving me the resources to do that 8 years ago in a GoFundMe campaign, and it's just that constant, unwavering team that I have behind me that just picks me up, keeps me going when I'm having those rough days. So science has a lot of catching up to do, but I'm doing it the old fashioned way, and it's done amazing things for me.
I don't know that I would have had the strength, mentally to do what you have been able to do. There had to be some days where you were just staring up at the ceiling going, this ain't worth it. This is if this is going to be it, I'd rather just say goodbye to everybody.
Absolutely. There were those days when I was thinking, how can I do this? This is just so tough. But there was a lot of tools that I picked up along the way, because I had this journey of a physical paralysis, but we all have things that paralyze us mentally or emotionally. And throughout these last 8 years of battling quadriplegia and overcoming it to a great degree, I've gained a lot of tools that I have in my tool belt now that help me to keep moving forward. And that's what this book is all about, is sharing those tools, helping a reader identify and overcome what paralyzes them through these tools that have helped me in this journey. So there's so many little nuggets in there, like using perspective to be able to persevere through our challenges, having a good mental diet, things like that just help us form a better mindset, live with positivity and purpose.
So when the doctors initially, looked at your situation and said, well, you're never going to be able to walk, like again, maybe you'll be able to pick up a piece of pizza. Was your attitude at that point, Doc, just watch what I do?
Yeah, when I got that news that I would never walk or move my hands again, I went back to my athlete's mindset. I went back to playing on the rugby field at Cal, winning our 31st national championship on that day. We were never taught to quit, and we were never taught to get up. And when the odds were stacked against us, we worked harder. And when I received that news from my doctor, I went back to that type of mindset, that you don't know how hard I'm willing to work. And if I need to get in the top 1% of outcomes, then I'm going to put in the top 1% of effort. And it all ended up paying off.
What do you want people to take away from your book?
More than anything, I want people to take away just how much of a gift that life is, because I understood through my injury that life is very fragile. It can change in an absolute instant. And we should embrace every day like a gift, show gratitude for it, use it, because things can change just so quickly. But life is a precious gift that ought to be enjoyed. And I want everybody to realize that after reading this book.
What's the name of the book?
The book is Paralyzed to Powerful.
And powerful is really what you are, because you're now one of the top motivational speakers in the country. And it makes perfect sense that you would be, especially given the nature of your recovery. But that probably was not something that you could have foreseen early on.
No, it hasn't. And it just goes to show how much this selfless purpose and sharing the story has given me that power, because physically I am still paralyzed. I'm in a wheelchair as we have this interview right now, but I don't see my life in a paralyzed state. I mean, this is very much a life in motion that I'm living right now. And it's really only through sharing this story with others that I can access that. So that's a really important part of this too, is living that selfless commitment. I think that's really where we find our purpose and our power in our life.
I'm sure through the speeches that you've given, um, your story is so inspirational that you are now in a position where you can help others who are looking at whatever fate life has dealt them, and just, depressed, disconsolate, whatever you want to say, and you have a chance to flip their mindset to a positive approach and go, hey, I had a 1% chance of this happening, and I'm standing on the stage here right now.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, when I broke my neck and I couldn't play rugby anymore, I lost my purpose. My purpose was being an athlete. And it was through sharing this story and seeing that the impact that it was making on others' lives that I started to realize that when I broke my neck, it wasn't just a curse, it was a gift. And that's a gift that I can share with others. I wouldn't be in this position to help others today if I didn't break my neck. So if that's the road I had to take to get where I am today, I'm grateful for it.
Wow. I don't know that I could have gotten there. I mean, like, because that's a pretty radical 180 turn to be able to do that. And I'm sure there are times where you watch it, whether do you still watch rugby? Do you look at it on TV or
Oh yeah, yeah. You know, I'll be watching Cal versus St. Mary's this weekend. I watch it regularly.
so does this, in your mind, do you think, oh man, I wish I could just run out there one more time and do this?
Absolutely. And I remember the first time I went back to a Cal rugby match just a few months after my injury. The team ran out on the field. We played the national anthem, and I wept because I would have given so much there to be with them. And of course, I wish I had my abilities back, my physical abilities. I wish I could go on the rugby field. And I work hard at getting my physical abilities back every day. Every day. Here I am, 2,903 days into my injury, making an effort towards that. But I just couldn't wish away the abilities that this injury has given me through being able to help others. We're talking about people battling cancer, suicidal ideations. I mean, just horrible things confiding in me what this injury is helping them get through. And I'm just thinking, there's no way I could wish that meaning away. It's something that's so much more important to me than being able to walk from point A to point B on my feet.
Is it a realistic goal for you to think, I'm going to ditch this walker? It's just a matter of time.
It's absolutely a realistic goal for me to ditch my walker one day and to be entirely wheelchair independent. In fact, I've talked with my therapists and they've said, Robert, you've had so much progress to date. You continue to progress and the work ethic is there. I see no reason why one day you won't be out of your wheelchair again at some time. So there's no telling like when that time frame is. And I'll either get out of this wheelchair one day or I'll die trying. But I truly believe in my heart that I will be wheelchair independent one day. I have no doubts in my mind.
I hope it comes soon. Take me through the normal day. Like, you get up
Yeah.
and you eat, and then you're lifting weights, or what do you do?
Yeah. Yeah. Get up around 6:30 every day and then spend 2 hours doing my hair every morning. No,
Oh, just like a TV guy. Oh,
that's right. That's it.
yeah.
Now I get up and make my smoothie, sit down. And I mean, the majority of my day is spent in just thinking, how can I share this message to help other people? Speaking has just become such a passion and purpose in my life. And I'm so excited that I now have this book format to where I can give that to an individual to be able to package 8 years of battling quadriplegia and put it into a condensed readable version that I can get to someone, also doing an audio book that I narrated myself. So really excited for that. And then once the clock hits 4 o'clock, I get in my walker. I start doing laps around the house. I start doing sit to stands for my bed. I stand in a static position as long as I can. make a nice dinner with my wife, go to bed and do it again.
Yeah, congratulations on that as well, because I saw the pictures on your website. That was also probably something that when you're early on, you're thinking, well, nobody's going to want to be with me because of this situation.
Exactly. No, I looked in the mirror and I didn't even recognize my body. I had lost 60 pounds in 1 month. I had atrophy everywhere. I was no longer that D1 athlete, 6'5", 245 pounds. And first I thought, I had an identity crisis there. But then I have challenges, immense challenges I deal with every single day. And I don't have a choice to take them on, but a life partner does. And my wife, Carson, has made that choice every day for the last 4.5 years that we've been together. And we got married in November of 2023. And she just showed me that my worth as a person is not in my appearance. It's not in my accomplishments. It's who I am on the inside that deserves her love. So it's her love and her care for me that's just completely changed the way that I view my worthiness. And I think that's an important lesson that every single one of us is worthy of love.